Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to fall for you so deeply, so powerfully, that it feels almost out of their control? Is it because of your personality, your physical appearance, your charm, or could it be something deeper, something unseen, rooted far beneath the surface of what meets the eye? Carl Jung, one of the most influential thinkers in modern psychology, believed love isn't some random spark or accident. He saw it as something far more profound, something guided by invisible forces deep within the unconscious mind. And in this video, we're going to uncover Jung's fascinating insights into why people truly fall in love with you. Not because of how you look, not because of how you talk, but because of what you symbolize in their inner world. If you've ever felt like someone was drawn to your soul more than your surface, type "I am a reflection of the soul" in the comments. Let the universe know you're aware of your deeper impact. Let's dive in. We often like to believe that love just happens, that it's magical, that two people feel a spark, and suddenly, bam, they're drawn to each other. But Jung didn't think love was random. He believed it followed a hidden structure, a deep inner logic created by your unconscious mind. What looks like instant chemistry on the surface is usually the result of something much older: unresolved emotions, unmet inner needs, and psychological patterns that have been quietly building for years. This is where Jung introduces one of his most powerful concepts: projection. You and we all carry hidden parts of ourselves, fragments of our personality that we've pushed down, denied, or forgotten. But those pieces don't disappear. Instead, they wait silently in the unconscious, and then at just the right moment, they show up again in the people we meet. When someone comes into your life who mirrors one of those lost or unexpressed parts of you, the attraction can feel intense, almost mystical. It's not necessarily them that you're seeing. It's a part of you, a forgotten dream, a buried strength, a hidden desire reflected in their presence. Let's say you've always been cautious, quiet, and emotionally guarded. Then you meet someone bold, passionate, and emotionally expressive. You're drawn to them, maybe even obsessed. But it's not just because they're interesting. It's because they awaken something inside of you, something you've long buried. The attraction is real, but what's driving it is your unconscious mind recognizing a missing part of itself. This brings us to the first reason people fall in love with you. You represent something they lack. You become a mirror for what's missing inside them. That's why introverts often fall for extroverts. Why logical thinkers fall for dreamers. Why calm people are pulled toward chaos. It's not always because they like those traits. It's because their psyche needs them in order to grow. You fill a psychological gap. You become the missing piece in their emotional puzzle. But this kind of connection has a dark side too. When someone falls in love with you because of what you represent, not who you are, it's easy for them to create a fantasy. They're not seeing you clearly. They're seeing an idea of you, a projection. And when you act in ways that don't match their ideal, it can break the illusion. Suddenly, the magic fades. What once felt perfect now feels disappointing. And that's because the connection wasn't built on truth. It was built on their own inner longing. Carl Jung warned that projection, while powerful, is also fragile. If someone clings to the image they've created of you, without integrating it into their own personal growth, the relationship will struggle. They may feel let down, not because you changed, but because you were never the fantasy to begin with. And here's the deeper truth. You've probably done the same thing. We all have. Carl Jung didn't stop with projection. He took things even deeper into the inner world of the human psyche, into a space where love, desire, and longing are shaped long before we ever meet someone. Here, he introduced the powerful concepts of the anima and animus, the unconscious inner image of the opposite gender that lives within every person. These aren't just fantasies or personal preferences. They are ancient, symbolic blueprints that influence who we're drawn to, how we love, and why certain people feel like soulmates. According to Jung, every man carries an inner image of the feminine, his anima, and every woman carries an inner image of the masculine, her animus. These archetypal images are not created overnight. They are shaped over time by early relationships, especially with parents, and also by collective ideas of masculinity and femininity, passed down through culture, myth, and generation. And whether we realize it or not, we carry these images like emotional maps, waiting to meet someone who seems to match them. And then one day, boom, it happens. You meet someone who seems to fit that inner image almost perfectly, not because they are objectively perfect, but because they resonate with that powerful unconscious picture you've carried for years. The feeling is overwhelming, it's familiar, intoxicating, almost like you've known them before. That's why people sometimes say, "I feel like I've known you forever," even if you just met. But Jung would gently remind you, that feeling isn't about them. It's about your own inner world being reflected back at you. This is the second reason someone might fall deeply in love with you. You awaken a powerful unconscious image they've carried within. It may not be because of how you look or even how you act, but because your presence stirs something ancient and emotionally charged in their psyche. You activate a pattern they weren't even aware of, and suddenly they feel pulled toward you, not by logic, but by something that feels almost fated. But here's where things get tricky. When someone falls in love with an unconscious image, they're not really falling in love with you. They're falling in love with what you represent. You become the symbol of something sacred to them. The way you smile, speak, move, it all becomes part of their inner fantasy. You become the screen, and their psyche projects the movie. It's beautiful at first, but fragile, because no one, not even you, can live up to an archetype forever. Eventually, reality sets in. The real you begins to show. Your imperfections, your contradictions, your human truth. And when that happens, the fantasy can crack. What once felt divine now feels confusing. The deep connection becomes cloudy. Disappointment creeps in, not because of anything you did wrong, but because their inner image and the real person you are don't fully align. This is one of the great psychological heartbreaks. The moment someone realizes you're not their fantasy, you're human, and the moment you realize they weren't seeing you, they were seeing a version of themselves they longed to meet. That's why so many passionate relationships begin like fairy tales and end in silence, chaos, or confusion. Not because love was fake, but because it was built on unconscious projection. But this isn't something to fear. Jung didn't see projection, or the anima-animus dynamic, as a mistake. He saw it as a vital step on the road to individuation, the psychological journey of becoming whole. Every intense connection is an opportunity for self-awareness. Every attraction is a mirror. Every heartbreak is a teacher. You may awaken someone's anima or animus. You may reflect what's been missing or activate a forgotten part of their soul. But the most important thing isn't to hold on to the illusion. It's to help them and yourself grow beyond it. Even though projection can lead to confusion and heartbreak, Carl Jung didn't see it as a failure. In fact, he believed it was an essential part of human growth. Falling in love, even if it begins with illusion, serves a purpose. Every person who captures your heart, or whose heart you capture, plays a role in your psychological evolution. They don't just enter your life randomly. They arrive as mirrors, some gentle, some shattering, but all meant to show you something you weren't yet ready to face within yourself. This is what Jung called individuation, the lifelong process of becoming whole. We don't become complete by finding someone else to fix or complete us. We become whole by recognizing what each relationship reveals about the pieces of ourselves we've neglected, rejected, or forgotten. When someone falls in love with you, it's often because something inside them is waking up. You represent more than a person. You become a symbol, a message, an invitation to heal, to grow, or to remember. And the same goes for you. The people you've fallen for, the ones who made your heart race or made it break, they weren't mistakes. Even the painful ones had meaning. Jung called these kinds of encounters synchronistic, not logically planned, but deeply significant. You didn't love them just because of their words or their looks. You loved what they awakened in you. Maybe they reflected your potential. Maybe they triggered your insecurities. Maybe they showed you what you were missing or what you were refusing to learn. Some of these connections are meant to last. Others are meant to shake you. Some are there to open your heart, and others are meant to stretch it until it breaks, so that new light can get in. And while it can be hard to accept, none of it is meaningless. Every bond, every pull, every heartbreak, and every healing holds a lesson. So, why do people fall in love with you? Because you mirror something they need, or you awaken something they forgot. You may embody a dream they've yet to realize, or a part of themselves they've been too afraid to meet. And once that part is stirred, it feels magnetic, intense, almost cosmic. But it's not just about you. It's about their soul trying to grow through you. And the same is true when you fall for someone. You're not just drawn to them. You're drawn to what your own soul is ready to face or reclaim. But here's the truth. If you don't become aware of these patterns, you'll keep repeating them. You'll keep attracting the same types, experiencing the same endings, mistaking longing for love and fantasy for connection. You'll keep thinking you're unlucky in love, when really, your unconscious is just trying to wake you up. And when you finally do awaken, when you understand the projections, the inner figures, and the archetypes, you stop chasing people to complete you. You begin to reclaim those missing parts within yourself. And from that space of wholeness, love transforms. It's no longer about filling a void. It becomes something sacred, something real, something free. You don't fall in love to be saved. You love because you are already whole, and your heart simply recognizes itself in another. So, the next time someone falls in love with you, or you feel that deep, mysterious pull toward another, pause. Ask yourself, what part of me is coming alive right now? What is this connection trying to teach me? Because true love, in the end, is never just about finding another person. It's about finding the lost pieces of yourself through the mirror of connection. If this message resonated with your soul, type "I am awakening through love" in the comments. Let the world know that you're not just here to love, you're here to evolve.